Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I have this article from The Guardian. Is Trump preparing for a civil war? Millions of people across the U.S. attend No King's protest against Donald Trump. Last weekend, the president publicly denied he wanted to be a king, but he posted an AI-generated video of himself dressed as one flying a fighter jet and dumping excrement on protesters. Jonathan Freeland speaks to the political scientist Barbara Walters about the tactics the Trump administration is using against protests. So I don't think Trump was trying to insinuate that he was a king. I think he was just, having fun with it because he thought, because Trump is a funny guy. He literally does nothing but satire. So for him, it's like, hey guys, check it out. I'm going to post this funny video and it's hilarious, because they're over here saying that this is what I want to be. Let's go ruffle some feathers. He just loves satire. And I think the problem with the left is they don't have a sense of humor. And the humor that they have is pretty dry. These people need to learn to laugh at themselves and not take everything so damn serious. At least with the right, we can laugh at ourselves and, we have a good sense of humor compared to the people on the left. Let's just leave it at that. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this next video. This is the urban warfare. New York Congressman on Trump admins New York City ICE raids.
More than 50 federal agents descended upon Lower Manhattan earlier this week in an immigration raid targeting local street vendors. DHS said the agents arrested 9 undocumented men. The raid drew swift pushback from the public. Protesters were gathering around, recording the agents and demanding answers. A day after all of this went down, New York Attorney General Letitia James rolled out a new online portal where people can share photos and videos of immigration enforcement happening across the state. Joining us now to discuss all of this is New York Congressman Adriano Espaillat. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I just first want to get your reaction to this raid that we saw here in New York on Canal Street. What message do you think was being sent, if there was a particular message? And do you think this is the start of an escalation of immigration raids here in the city, as we have seen in other parts of the country?
I believe it's the start of an escalation, yes. I think that for the most part, what the enforcement tactics have been somewhat targeted to individuals so far. But this raid shows that they're coming to New York. I was in Chicago yesterday and I saw what they're doing there. And perhaps, I got the feeling that maybe they're experiencing their model. They're in other smaller cities to see whether or not it works. And then they're going to come into the biggest cities like New York is.
And how do you think New Yorkers should be bracing themselves or preparing themselves for this, whether they are immigrants or members of the immigrant community here or undocumented workers, and at the same time, New York citizens and residents who live here and don't want to see this happening in their city? And do you think it's going to escalate because of the mayoral race, depending on who wins?
Well, first, I think that there are things that we can do.
Like?
As a city. We could develop rapid response teams. We could record, as the Attorney General asked that we do. The schools could have a soft lockdown protocol, safety corridors, perhaps even virtual learning for students that won't come into school. These are the kinds of practices, best practices that I saw in Chicago. I think that we need to tighten up our game and develop these strategies because we're going to be ready. We got to be ready. This is New York City, and in many ways, it will be a showdown. Yes.
How are you making sure that some of your constituents who maybe aren't able to follow mainstream English-speaking news, who have at times been targeted by mis and disinformation campaigns, as we know Latino communities throughout New York and the country have been at times, especially in politically charged moments. Have you had conversations with your constituents about knowing their rights, what
Absolutely.
they can do, the steps?
There's a huge difference between legal and illegal. And I'm so sick of these people lumping everybody together. It's just so irritating. Don't they understand? Well, they probably do, because these people are the left mouthpiece. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC, all these people are the left wing's mouthpiece, which is why you see them do softball questions, which is why you never really see any pushback, which is annoying because that's not journalism. Journalism is asking the tough questions from both sides. It's not taking a side. It's like, it doesn't matter if you lean left or right. What matters is the truth. And that's all should matter. So you should be calling balls and strike. You should be calling out both parties, not just saying, you know what, we're going to give you some soft, easy questions so that we don't, hurt people's baby feelings. It's like, no, you guys should be doing the right thing and just being honest with the people. This is why people don't trust the media anymore. This is why they're going to people like Tim Pool, Steven Crowder. They're going to people like the Black Conservative, the Hodge twins, going to ABL and going to Officer Tatum. They're going to other channels like Lou. He's a new one. Lou, LV Nation, y'all should go follow him. Tell him I said hi. He's also someone who used to be on the left. He used to be a big BLM a person that followed BLM, and he switched sides because when he started looking into stuff himself, he was just like so shook that he got red pilled. And so he's one that calls out left and right sides, so you have people like him that are coming on the scene now that are so sick and tired of the lies and are just out here wanting to just spit the truth. And, it's more so like, for example, me. I got so sick and tired of seeing on social media half-truths and, the word games that these people play. Like, in one of my other videos, you guys see me kind of dismantle the word salad that they use because in the article they were saying like ICE, they zip tied children, and it's like, okay, what do you mean by children? I'm a child. I'm someone's child. It's like, what do you mean by that? What is the actual age you're talking about? And it was about the TDA gang members that they had put in zip ties. They were trying to push the narrative that the photo of the little black boy that had got zip tied, which was debunked because the father of that kid said it was actually his photo and he was playing cops and robbers with his son. So it was meant to be a joyful photo of just them playing around. And people purposely used it to push misinformation. And the media ran with it. Did they retract? No. They just kind of let it fade in the background. They didn't try and cover up them tracks. But that's the lie. And that's the problem, is that if you don't have people on their own side calling them out, people are never going to learn what's really going on. They're going to keep thinking you're providing truth when you're not. And that's the biggest problem. Now, when it comes to this guy talking about, oh, look what ICE is doing to my people and blah, 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 the Latin community. It's not just Latin people that they're rounding up. They're rounding up any form of illegal. So you have people that are white that are being, taken. You have people that are from European descent. You have people that were from Ukraine. You have people from Russia. You have people from Africa. You have people from, that were Islamic. They're not just going after Hispanic people. And I'm so sick and tired of people thinking that they are. Like, it's stupid, like to say that only Hispanics are the ones that come in here illegally. No, it's every race that does. So it's like, get it together, people. And don't lump them up into one. Stop saying that the legal migrants are the ones that are in danger when they're not. The only time I would say anybody that's in danger that did something the right way. So like you have those legals that had visas. If you let your visa, slip and get expired, like the guy from Hanover Park, Illinois, where it was 10 years, yeah, you deserve to go to jail. You deserve to get deported, stupid. And I'm not going to feel sorry for you or garner any sympathy because you chose to do that. You had every opportunity within that 10 years to renew it and you didn't. That's just my thought.
They can take properties that federal agents cannot enter, whatever it may be. Are people doing that sort of preparatory work to make sure that they're safe?
We did it when the enforcement began. We're going to have to go back to it, the do's and don'ts. Consolidated legal services, that they know exactly where to go for legal services, is another strategy. But this is all a response to the conditions. Unmasked or masked ICE agents throwing people on the ground like they did to Senator Alex Padilla, a sitting senator.
You mean the senator that bum rushed a press conference that was private the one that rushed in there, didn't identify himself, didn't have his pin on, that guy, for all you know, was a crazy person.
Of the state of California.
They're smashing people's car windows.
Chemicals.
They're waiting outside of churches.
Yes.
Going into people's homes.
They're going with a judicial warrant into people's homes. They are also smashing the windows because people refuse to open the door, and they get warnings that they're going to get their windows smashed if they don't do that. So I'm not going to play this game with y'all. Stop it, MSNBC. Do better. Stop pushing lies and fear-mongering. They're not going into the churches. And if they did, I mean, technically they can because it's open to the public. If they're in the parking lot, that's an open public space. They are allowed to do that. So y'all need to stop telling people lies.
Going into people's homes, their chemicals are being thrown.
The chemicals are being thrown when these agitators are impeding putting hands on ICE agents, and they are given ample warning. They are warned anywhere between 2 to 4 times before they actually unload. So if you're stupid enough to keep doing it, then you deserve what you get.
Gas, of course, the weaponization of the Justice Department. These are all characteristics of a dictatorship. The
Wrong.
Trump administration is behaving like a military junta government. And these are the strategies that we've seen that have been used throughout history to repress people, to the degree that is to no one's surprise that he may want to seek a third term. So this is...
Oh my God, they're still with that. Again, he's just trolling people. And I'm pretty sure if he did, a lot of people would vote for him in because, like, they like what he's doing. He won the popular vote. He won the swing states. He won across the board. Okay, y'all can't take the facts that he won completely. And he won on this stuff. He ran on deporting everybody. Why are you guys surprised?
The state of affairs in America.
Well, there is an interesting point in Donald Trump accepting this donation, $130 million. Defense Department is supposedly going to accept this donation from a Trump donor that would only fund about half a day of troops' pay,
right,
but as a way to bypass the shutdown. So it's of questionable legality. What do you make of there being concern for the optics of not paying the troops? And there's still plenty of money to fund ICE and to fund this massive surveillance operation.
And the ballroom.
The ballroom, but
The ballroom is through donations. It has nothing to do with money that the government has. It has nothing to do with taxpayer money. So again, fact check, wrong.
Government, when is the shutdown going to be over?
The priorities for this administration are upside down, and so you don't pay the army, you don't pay the men and women of the armed forces, but you have massive funding for these masked ICE agents that are slamming people on the floor, moms and working people.
You mean people that put hands on ICE, the ones that are throwing rocks and water bottles and other things at ICE? Is that the people we're talking about?
On the other hand, you really don't care about the shutdown. You're making believe it's not even there. And so you're gallivanting around the world, and people are not going to get their checks. And so this is a crisis moment. And I believe that they will come to New York and take it to another level. And for that reason, I went to Chicago yesterday to see what they're doing so that we can be ready and prepared.
Well, so when do you think, what's your projection on when the government might reopen? I feel like it's becoming Groundhog Day around here. We have on a lawmaker, and it's another week of, basic.
Maybe you should ask the Democrats, because all of the Republicans are voting to reopen the government. And since you need a 60 majority vote to reopen, 53 of the Republicans, which is all the Republicans, voted to reopen it. Who's holding out? Democrats. That's right.
Getting, be in your district, but Mike Johnson not calling the House to session.
That's
What do you foresee here?
I foresee that when the government tries to take your Medicaid away from you, or try to hike your premiums, double or triple your premiums, so that if you're sick, if you have cancer, if you have diabetes, if you have a cardiovascular serious problems, like many Americans do, that you're going to be able to afford your health care. I believe that that's when we have a discussion where we can bring government back to work. I don't want Johnson or Trump to steal your Medicaid.
They're not.
I will fight for you so you can
Liar.
keep your Medicaid. And that's what this is all about.
I just want to follow.
It's not. In my last video, I literally tell you guys what the Democrats want. They want money to fund for illegals to have like health insurance. They want money for for the trans stuff to be like around the world. They want to fund money for news outlets like this so that they're still one-sided. We shouldn't be funding any news outlets, whether it's left or right, because that's not being impartial. I feel like across the board, we should not be funding any of these guys, and let these people figure it out at that point. But right now, all this crap that he's pushing is bullshit and lies. Sorry for the cuss words in case there's kids around.
Follow up on one thing that Elise and you were talking about for a second, which is about Trump finding private donations to pay the military. As you mentioned, Congress has not been in session. I presume there would be enough votes to find money just to pay the military, right? If Congress were in session?
Of course, and there are sensible things that we can do, but they refuse to come to the table. They refuse to talk about health care.
They're trying to pass a clean bill that will make sure that the lights stay on, make sure programs that are currently active stay funded. The problem is that the Democrats purposely say, and there's a video going around showing that they purposely said that this is a golden opportunity for them so that they can use this against the American people so they could garner votes. They're purposely holding out. They're not doing this on accident, because again, it's the Democrats that are holding out. You have a clean bill that allows you to pay everything, all these programs. It allows to keep the lights on, and get people paid out. But the Democrats are like, no, we want a wish list. We want all these things, even though the Republicans didn't add a wish list to their stuff. It was just a straight clean bill, and they're purposely not, the Democrats are purposely not going to move. You only had I believe John Fetterman who voted to keep the government going. So he was one of the main Democrats that I know about that said, no, we need to get people fed and paid. Let's go. We can discuss all this other stuff that we want in another day. But no, that's not what they want.
Well, they want to make believe that this is not a problem, when in fact, everybody knows that if you're sick and you don't have the health care that you need, you could die or you could lose everything in a couple of months.
Congressman, before you go, I have to ask, because Eamon and I have asked you this question in the past. Given what you have seen ICE become under this administration, the massive influx of cash, the military-grade weapons that they are purchasing, the way in which the communities that you represent have been horrified by their actions, at this stage, do you think ICE as an agency should still exist?
Yes.
I think that they should be restructured totally. This is urban warfare, what they're doing. It is unacceptable. There has to be some level of enforcement in every department, but not a masked agent without a first name and a last name and a shield number knocking on your door. You don't know whether they're trying to rob you or...
Why? So they could get doxxed, so their family could be in danger because you guys don't want to enforce the laws. I am so sick of this guy. He is so full of ish. And like I said, notice how these people are just pushing these talking points that are so soft. And it's they're not even trying to, give you guys any truth to what he's saying. So we're done with this guy. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're on the verge of civil war? Do you think, I know it's a silly question to ask, but do you think Trump is trying to be a king? I highly doubt it, but hey, who am I? I don't know much. I just kind of go with what I see online and what I read and what I know so far. But hey, I could have missed something. I don't know. But you guys let me know. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys.